Bucks going to force everybody to get on a plane and head to Brooklyn, continue this series. You see the percentage in the restricted area and the percentage on jumpers. Giannis heading to the worst postseason in the last 5 years for percentage on jumpers. Attack the rim. That's exactly what he did in this game. Not settling. It's difficult because the opposition knows what's coming too, but can they stop it? Here you see 18 feet away, settle for the J? No. Work your way to the rim. Antetokounmpo had 19 in the first half, 7 of 7 on field goals in the paint. Didn't attempt a three for the first time this season. That helped the Bucks build another double-digit lead at the break. Of course, they had that in Game 5, and it got away. And this one, as Tim Legler talked about, put your head down, attack. Try to get easy buckets any way you can. Again, it's Giannis down low, fighting his way to the finish. An average field goal distance of under 6 feet, which is his lowest in a game this postseason. 22 of his 30 came in the paint. Coach Bud afterwards on what his big man gave him.
He's just got to have that aggressive mindset, wherever he is, and I think, lots of it starts with us getting stops. He's a great defender. He's got to, put a lot of focus and energy into that. And then we run off it. And, when we get good spacing and we get out in transition, he can get on a run. He can kick it and find his shooters. But I think, his defense is key. Our defense is key to, any kind of run.
Giannis, who can sprint the floor, and that's what they emphasize, getting out on the break. But I think we gave him a lot of opportunities from, especially, tough shots, turnovers. They thrive off that stuff, so we got to be better.
Both Giannis and Chris Middleton have multiple games in this series with 30 points and 10 rebounds. The only other duo to do that in a single playoff series, Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal. That was in the Western Conference Finals in 2002. More NBA news now. An article from the...
Yeah, I definitely think it was a part of it. We weren't well tonight offensively. Out of rhythm, out of sync. We definitely didn't play the way we wanted to play, the way we planned to play, and I would say that for the entire game. We had a couple stretches where we played okay, but really didn't play the way we wanted to play offensively. Defensively, we weren't great either, but not a disaster. But just not a great game from us. We just didn't have our best stuff tonight, and we got a Game 7 on our home floor.
Pleased to be joined now by Tim Legler. And Tim, those runs in the gym where you're just I'm going to get some buckets, you're going to get some buckets, we're going to get a sweat and just have some fun. Not a lot of that goes on in the playoffs, man. Those 144 to 128 games don't happen. It's a grind. Easy buckets, tough to get. Bucks got some tonight. How?
Yeah, they got some tonight. They took advantage of, I think, at times, I think the Nets were a little bit casual getting back in transition, but more than anything, sometimes, Scott, it's just a sense of urgency to get the ball up the floor quicker, and that's what I thought they did a good job of. Great contest by Lopez here in the middle. Now, when this ball comes to Giannis, take a look at the Nets. They're sort of jogging back, but they're funneling out too wide, the two wings. Harden does not get to the edge of the lane, and Giannis one dribble from the three-point line. He's there. Here again, possession. This is a bad possession by the Nets. You end up with a terrible fadeaway three by Harden. Here, if Holiday dribbles it up, they're going to match up. Instead, by advancing the ball, you get the closeout. It's just a subtle little thing. It's early offense. They might not even count that as transition, but it allowed Middleton to have the opportunity. Here's a great play by Tucker. First steps in front of Durant, then rakes down on Jeff Green, gets the strip. And again here, Kevin Durant, in running back defensively, he turns over the wrong shoulder, and by the time he spins around, that ball had been advanced to Giannis, and he's at the rim. So I thought the Bucks did a really good job in a situation that is typically very difficult to come by. Easy stuff early in the clock. Nets struggled with that the entire game. The last time I looked, it was 26-4 in fast break points. If you get two fast break buckets in an entire game, you're going to have a very difficult time winning any game, much less a playoff game when the Bucks get 26. That's easy stuff that typically you don't see in a Game 6.
Tim, there are huge variables right now, given health and the uncertainty, the availability of players, and those that are playing, sort of what percentage they are. But we get to a Game 7, and I think really it's about who you trust and what you believe you know, and that leads to who you like in Game 7. So what are you leaning into that you feel like, I know this about this team that leads me to believe they advance?
I'd say it's a tough one. I'm going to give the edge of Brooklyn because they're at home. I think the fact that Kevin Durant continues to operate the way that he is, he's had that kind of success. They haven't really made the adjustments on him. That's a dangerous factor going into a Game 7. And Scott, the other thing, a big one for the Bucks, Chris Middleton, as great as he was tonight and as much as we admire him, he has been a different player road or home. Chris Middleton needs to show up in a big way in Game 7. I think he's certainly capable of doing that. I expect this to be a very tight one-possession game. If that's the case, you have to favor the Brooklyn Nets and the ability of Kevin Durant in those situations to get a shot from anywhere on the floor. Giannis Antetokounmpo is a guy that will try to answer the bell, but there are some limitations there with his mid-range and deep shot, and then obviously his free throws in that situation. So if this is tight, this is a one-possession game inside of 5 minutes, I really like Brooklyn to win the game because of Kevin Durant.
You know that thing after a playoff game, Tim, where the guys look at the box score? If I'm Coach Bud, I circle how many threes Giannis took and show him that's a 0.
Oh, yeah.
Put your head down and go to the rim, big fella. That's what you got to bank on that and take your chances. Appreciate it, Tim.
Completely agree.
We'll talk soon.
All right, Scott, you got it.
Still to come on
Days and nights in Bristol, Connecticut. You know what that means? The NBA playoff games are getting really important.
That's right.
You only had one game to keep track of, Legs, and for a minute there it looked like it was going to be the same thing we saw in Game 5. Bucks had a lead. Here come the Nets. Kevin Durant's pretty good, but the outcome's different. How'd Milwaukee affect that change? Over
the course of 48 minutes in a playoff game, the team that can get some breathing room in the open floor and get something easy, they got a good chance to win the game. Brooklyn all night long. It was a grinded out half-court, over-dribbling kind of game. Milwaukee in their faces, but this is what Milwaukee was getting. D them up, and then look at the advanced pass by Jrue Holiday. So play fast. This might not even count as a transition basket, but the advance ahead and the quick attack by Middleton, you're doing things before the Nets are back there and set up. Here's a great effort by P.J. Tucker. Steps in, basically draws a charge on Durant, then the strip on Green, and again, throw it ahead to Giannis. You see Kevin Durant sort of jogging back. Joe Harris is not in position in the restricted area. He's at the rim, one dribble, finishing it. I just thought the Bucks all night had a much greater sense of pace when they would get their hands on the basketball on the defensive end of the floor. And maybe part of that's James Harden has to walk everything up because of his hammy. So the Bucks were always playing half-court defense, and I think the Nets had 4 fast break points when I looked middle of the fourth quarter. Bucks had 26. In a Game 6, to get that many open floor opportunities, you really can't ask for anything more if you're Mike Budenholzer.
I don't want to go all farm on people, but you know what they say, nothing runs like a deer. We come to Game 7, so having seen that, give me sort of the players and style of play that may decide this thing.
Look, these are 2 important guys. Obviously, a critical guy for the Bucks is Chris Middleton, and it might not sound like he should be an X factor, but he is, because he's been completely different at home than he is on the road. He was sensational in this one, 38. Well, can he go on the road in a Game 7? And he doesn't have to be 38 special, but can he be 26? Can he be 28? Can he do enough to augment what Giannis is going to bring from a production standpoint? You hope Jrue Holiday is as good as he was tonight. And if Chris Middleton could play that way, they got a great chance. Now, the other one is Jeff Green. This is a guy who made 7 threes the other night, and I know that's not going to happen every night, but he can't also then just go and completely disappear the way that he did in this game. Because right now, James Harden is pretty one-dimensional. It's going to be a bunch of step-back threes. You're going to get 30-plus out of Durant. You can go ahead and book that. So where is the other offense coming from for the Nets? Jeff Green can be an X factor. He's got a lock and load, get something going. Obviously, guys like Blake Griffin, Joe Harris, one of those guys needs to step up. But I think Jeff Green is the guy I'm looking at based on what he did the other night to take some of that pressure off Durant.
Game 7's always good, always exciting. Before I let you go, any interest in the Mavericks job? We can start a campaign for it if you want something.
I always have interest in the Mavericks job, John. I didn't expect it to be open today.
Well, there you go. We'll work on that for you.
I'll call Mark.
Tim Legler, people.
All right, one other NBA. Thank you, Malika. It's a beautiful thing to do this show. It's even more beautiful when beside me is a basketball Hall of Famer himself, the one and only Michael Wilbon. And, of course, we got an NBA champion chilling in South Beach named Kendrick Perkins. Let's get right to it, Wilbon.
Get to stay in South Beach.
Because his son Stone is there making noise in AAU competition.
Okay, here we go.
That's why Big Perk is there. But let's get to you first, Mike Wilbon. We saw an epic performance by Kevin Durant in Game 5, no question about that. What can we expect from him, and what should we expect from him tonight and the Brooklyn Nets?
It's not often that even the greatest players duplicate. But he shouldn't have to duplicate. I mean, I figure James Harden to be a little better. Suppose James is 15% better than he was the other night, even with the 46 minutes. He gives him a comfort level out there that's going to help even Kevin Durant. But Durant can be great. We've seen him be great back-to-back late in the playoffs. He can be that. I just caution people. 49 and 17 again, I don't know that we're going to see that. But he puts so much pressure on them, and Milwaukee is so not smart about how to go about guarding him. I don't want to hear that Giannis is a second-wave defender. Was Kobe Bryant a second-wave defender when the Lakers needed to stop somebody?
Not at all.
Was Michael Jordan or Scottie Pippen a second-wave defender?
Not at all.
Second wave. And Bobby Portis, he doesn't get off your bench?
No.
He's a guy who's guarded, tried to guard. You can put him on for a few minutes.
Yes.
He was a DNP the other night, Stephen A.
Yeah. That's a Bulletin holder question for another day, which is why some people who will remain nameless believe that the Bucks should send a private jet to Dallas to pick up Rick Carlisle. But that's a story for another day. Perk, let's get to you. How can Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks assure a win tonight, buddy?
Well, first of all, Giannis is going to have to take ownership and actually guard Kevin Durant. I don't want to hear about what Coach Budenholzer is saying or what's the game plan. I played with a great in Kevin Garnett, who was the defensive player of the year, and it didn't matter who it was on the other team. If it came to that moment, he said, "Doc, I got him." But listen, can somebody find Drew Holiday? Can somebody find him? Because right now, you don't get paid $134 million to get put on the back of a milk carton saying a missing person report. That's where he's at right now. Look, in this series, he has yet to score over 20 points. They brought Drew Holiday in to be the guy to take them over the hump, and he's not delivering right now. Drew Holiday has to step his game up. They have to put James Harden in pick and rolls, make him defend, make him guard, slide those puppies, test those hamstrings, and attack him all night long.
Dare I say I got a Hall of Famer and a champion bringing the heat the way I normally bring it. This is a very touching moment for me. This is a very touching moment. By the way, let's get to Chris Middleton right here for the Milwaukee Bucks. There he is. The Bucks are 6-0 this postseason when he shoots 40% from the field and 0-3 when he shoots below that.
Right now.
A performance of the ages, no doubt about it, Wilbon. Should we expect KD to deliver these types of performances for the Nets to have a chance at the title this season? Real quick.
Performances, plural. Michael Jordan did back-to-back 50s against Cleveland. I think it was 1987, 50 and 55. It's never been done otherwise. To ask KD to do it again, look, I'm not going to put it past him, but he's going to have to spread this around. They're going to have a little bit more help for KD tonight. But if there's anybody who can do it, playing actively now, KD.
KD could do it, no question about it. What about you, Big Pert? What's your thoughts on that?
Listen, I don't know if he's going to have another 49-point triple-double, but I know that he's capable of having a 35-point triple-double. The best thing, and I say this, I don't wish injuries on nobody, but I say this. The best thing for the world that happened for the world for Kevin Durant was that Kyrie Irving and James Harden got injured, because now we can see the other elements that Kevin Durant brings to the game. His facilitating for others, the way that he's able to rebound, the way that he's able to run that point forward position. So I can see him duplicating this throughout the rest of the playoffs and carrying this Brooklyn Nets team to the finals.
You know what? That's astute analysis on Kendrick Perkins' part, because I was waiting to say, oh, no, you didn't. Oh, no, you didn't, but you didn't give me a reason to.
Committee approach to guarding KD, but Kevin Durant was next level and